Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a recipe for some vegan pumpkin spice loaf or bread or whatever you want to call it, but it's delicious and I'm super excited to share it with you guys. You guys have been asking for more fall recipe videos and I've really been getting in like the fall, Halloween, autumn spirit this year, and I've really embraced it and I've come up with a lot of good recipes. I'm just feeling it this year. And so yesterday I tested this recipe. It turned out really good. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. And yeah, I think that's it. Let's get to it. Okay, so this recipe is very similar to my banana bread recipe. If you've made my banana bread before, you will kind of know the base that we're going to be using. So for our flours, we're going to be using some all-purpose flour, some almond flour, some oat flour, and some rolled oats. Now, I know a lot of you want to substitute the almond flour because it can be very expensive depending on where you're living, so you can substitute that for all oat flour if you wish. And then for the oat flour, you don't need to go out and buy oat flour. You can just take your rolled oats and then just grind them up in a blender or a food processor until they are a flour consistency. But those three flours are gonna be our base, and then we're gonna be adding in some baking powder, some baking soda, some pumpkin pie spice, some extra cinnamon, ginger, a little bit of salt, and then some coconut sugar. And then for the coconut sugar, a lot of you guys will probably ask if you can substitute for maple syrup or dates, and you can definitely do that. I haven't tried it for this recipe, but you will have to adjust depending on the ratios because maple syrup is a liquid and coconut sugar is a dry, granulated sugar. I also just wanted to mention another alternative for almond flour because I really like using almond flour in loaves and breads and stuff like that because I feel like it makes it a lot more moist and it just gives it a really good texture. If you make your own almond milk at home, you can use that pulp that's left over that you don't really know what to do with. You can just throw it in the oven at a low temperature and dehydrate it a little bit so it's not as wet, and then use that in replacement of the almond flour, and that will do the same thing. I do that with my banana bread all the time and it turns out really well. Anyways, so we've got this all mixed up, all our dry ingredients, all nice and smooth, and now we're going to mix together our wet ingredients. So we've got some pureed pumpkin. I'm just using canned pumpkin puree, but you can also bake your own pumpkin and use that if you'd like. We've got some vanilla extract, some applesauce, and then a flax egg. I made this flax egg by using 2 tablespoons of ground flax and then adding 6 tablespoons of water, stirring that up, and I let that sit before I did anything so that it can gel up because that is what's going to hold everything together and it's going to act as our egg in this recipe. So we're going to mix together all of our wet ingredients and then we're going to add that to our dry ingredients, and then we've got our base for our loaf. And then I'm just going to add in about half a cup of plant-based milk. You can use whatever one you enjoy the most. So this is sort of what your batter mixture will look like once it's done. It smells so good. So now I'm going to add in some vegan chocolate chips. This is the Enjoy Life brand. I remembered to tell you guys this time because every time there's so many questions. I'm going to add in some chocolate chips to my pumpkin loaf, but you can add in like walnuts or cranberries or pumpkin seeds, whatever you guys like. Kyle really likes chocolate chips and I really like chocolate chips, so I'm gonna add probably about like a quarter cup of chocolate chips to the batter.
How long?
1 hour.
1 hour, everybody.
And make sure to cover it about halfway through so that the top doesn't burn.
Okay.
Alright, so this is baked for an hour and we waited for it to completely cool before slicing it. It's the hardest part, but you have to do it to make sure that it stays together, and I'm super excited to have a piece. It's really good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Put some vegan butter on it.
Yeah, Kyle really likes his pumpkin bread with some vegan butter on it. It's really good. But I'll just eat this plain. It's so yummy. So good. Alright guys, and that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys try out this pumpkin loaf. It is so good. You guys really need to make it, especially this fall season. If you guys do make this recipe, make sure to take a picture and tag me on Instagram. My Instagram is right here. I really love seeing you guys recreate these recipes and hearing what you guys thought of them. Definitely let me know what you thought of this recipe in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! You're so far away from me. Ah!
One pumpkin loaf?
Do you like pumpkin? Oh. No.
Like, ooh, pumpkin.